Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and the mini set Return to Naxxramas has been out for a couple of weeks, and I thought it'd be time to do what we always do, take a data look approach using HS Replay and seeing what the worst of the worst, the absolute most garbage cards so far from the mini set. We typically don't bother to take a look at the best card, because I mean, look at the one that's been played 1.3 million times, and we are waiting for a nerf announcement on this card any minute now. But let's take a look at what the worst 10 cards are so far for Return to Naxxramas, and are they all warrior cards? And if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, hit that sub button down below, give the video a like, it helps the channel out a ton. We're gonna be looking at all data through Diamond through Legend since the mini set has come out in Standard, as well as use the deck win rate as the qualifier. Might not be the best indicator, but it's what we go with, and well, I'm gonna stick to it. Starting off at number 10, surprisingly, we have a Deathlight card. Despite the fact Deathlight is dominating, we have Rhyme Scale Siren, the 3 mana 2/3 Undead Naga. It requires 1 Frost Rune. Has Battle Cry. If you've cast 3 spells while holding this, freeze 3 random enemies. It is in 0.08% of decks. Has a deck win rate of 41.6% and has only been played 550 times. Compare that to what we say, the 1.3 million times in the same qualifying area as a location. It kind of pales in comparison. Yeah, this card, the stats aren't great. The requirement isn't that easy to complete, and pretty much every Deathlight deck, even Frost right now, is more minion based, so to get this going is not all that likely, and most people thought it'd be a pretty bad card, and yeah, it's number 10 for a reason. At number 9, we have an interesting one that I gave 5 stars. I think Trump gave 5 stars, and I still think it's a really good card, but it's suffering because of Druid, and it is Life from Death. This is 6 mana nature spell for Druid. Draw 3 cards, infuse 6, not Mana Thirst 6. This costs 1, so you infuse it 6 times. It costs 1 mana. It is in 0.8% of decks, 41.4% deck win rate, and played 7,800 times. But I will note its played win percentage when actually played is 54%. Druid is just dying really fast right now, so it's kind of bringing it down. Regardless, it's not performing very well. It is a slow card. It needs to get infused 6 times, which is like a scale of Onyxia typically for those style of decks, so you don't get this going for quite some time, and a little too slow for aggro, and as a result, yeah, it's number 9. It'll be very curious to see if it stays that way going forward. At number 8, we have the first of 3 mage cards. That's right, every mage card made the list. I gave them all terrible ratings, and they all made the list, so I feel at least vindicated on that one. Tear Reality at number 8. Tear Reality adds 2 random mage spells from the past to your hand. They cost 2 less. It's in 0.7% of decks, 41.4% deck win rate, and played 8,800 times. This card is it's just quite simple. Wild spells, there's a lot of bad ones, and you are spending 4 mana to actively do nothing unless you can cheat one, like it's 2 mana or less. It's base cost, right? You can cheat it out, but the average spell's bad for every, like, I don't know, Firelens Portal. You gotta Glaciate, and usually more on top of that. And yeah, it's incredibly slow, not consistent, but a decent arena pick, I will say. But overall, yeah, you playing that on ladder, you're probably going to blow up. At number 7, we have a card, again, that surprises me because I do think it is a good card, and it's just, well, maybe I'm just wrong. We have Fail Scale Evoker for Demon Hunter, a 6 mana 5/7 Demon Naga. Battlecry. If you cast 3 spells while holding this, summon a different demon from your deck. It is in 0.2% of decks, a 40.9% deck win rate, and played all of 2,500 times. It is a card, though, that when played wins 52.2% of the time because its high roll is good, but the deck itself is bad. So it is kind of boosting up a bad deck. So is it really that bad a card? Maybe not, but overall, you do have to cast 3 spells while holding it just to get that effect, and well, it can be a game-winning effect. That's why the played win rate is a little bit high on it, but overall, the deck just is not working despite of that, so I guess it qualifies and is a bad card so far. Number 6, though, we have our next mage card, Spectral Trainee, a 3 mana 1/4 undead. After you cast a spell, deal 1 damage to all all enemy minions. This is in 0.1% of decks, a 40.8% deck win rate, and has been played 1,500 times. There's just not a lot of great cheap spells for like mage to really go off with this. And at the same time, let's say there is, you're just left with a 1/4 on the board. You're not really cheating other stuff out. It doesn't really work with like a Naga mage if you're trying to get it to go with that. It just doesn't fit in, and its payoff just isn't quite there. It could be an insane card if they make like Undead Mage somehow really good with a lot of spells, which just doesn't really make any sense. It's just a weird one, and yeah, it is not working out whatsoever. Now we're to the top 5 or bottom 5, and starting off we have a rogue card, Stitched Creation, a 3-mana 1/1 undead. You combo this, it gains +2/+2. If it's infused twice, it gains +3/+3, and Mana Thirst 8, it gains +4/+4. If you get them all together, it's a 3-mana 10/10, but you have to have 8 mana, and you're playing Rogue, so probably not going to happen. It is in 0.1% of decks, has a 39.8% deck win rate, and has been played 1,400 times. This is an achievement card, and normally we see a spike with played rate in achievement cards, and it's still only been played 1,400 times. It's just like at your best case scenario, you're probably maybe getting a 3-mana 6/6 between like turns 4 and 5. Rogue's got way more broken stuff to do than that, and it's just not worth the slot, and we're seeing that. And the Mana Thirst 8 +4/+4, it's only relevant for the achievement, right? Playing fully Stitched Creation or whatever the achievement's called. That's it, and it's just really not that great a card. At number 4, we have the last mage card. The last one on here, Whirlweaver, a 3-mana 4/3 elemental Naga. Battlecry, if you cast a spell last turn, discover an elemental. This is in 0.04% of decks, a 38.2% deck win rate, and it's been played 440 times. Because why are you playing this? Again, I see it go off in Arena consistently, and I'm still meh. Like, discovering an elemental, they're not that great. There's nothing that prominent for elementals in Mage right now. It's just underwhelming, and it requires a setup. You can't just play it. Like, you could take that if you cast a spell away from the card, and it would still suck. It would still not see play, and yeah, it is top 4 for that reason. At number 3, we have the only neutral on the list, Lost Exarch, a 4-mana 5/4 undead minion. Death Rattles, spend all of your mana, summon that many 2/2 zombies with Rush. It is in 0.08% of decks, a 36.8% deck win rate, and has only been played 770 times. Another achievement card so bad that people don't even want to bother completing the achievement to get that tiny little bit of XP that barely helps. And yeah, it's not even that great in Arena. Like, you play it and I guess you float some mana, but the upside of this card requires you to float mana, and that cost of like 2 mana to get 2/2s with Rush is just not really that good, especially when you have cards out there like, I don't know, like a Deathborn that punishes you. There's cards out there that flat out punish you for getting minions like that. It's just bad, and it deserves its number 3 spot. At number 2, we have the Warlock card, a 2-drop, so very fitting. Suspicious Peddler, 2-mana 2/3 undead battlecry. Discover a 1-cost card. If your opponent guesses your choice, they get a copy. This is in, and I'm reading this correctly, 0% of decks. It's probably, you can round up to 0.01, but yes, 0% of decks, 36.4% deck win rate, and played 110 times. Why would you put this in your deck? Why? It's so bad. Like the old card that it's based off, it had 1 less health, but you don't play that anymore. The Discover bonus is long gone. You used to get class cards more often with Discover, which let Dark Peddler be a good card that you would get Soulfire, Power Overwhelming, really good stuff reliably. This gets you crappy neutral 1-drops most often, and your opponent might get it too, just for that extra 1 health. A horrifically bad card in today's day and age, but not the worst. And number 1, we have to have Warrior on the list. And yes, Warrior has the worst card so far from the mini set. Training Session. Discover a taunt minion. If you play it this turn, repeat this, it is a 1-mana spell. It is in 0.3% of decks. Yeah, 35.9% deck win rate, and has been played 3,400 times. It's been played a lot, maybe the achievement has to do that. People desperately trying to get Taunt Warrior to go, but I'll just say there's an achievement for this where you have to play 3 taunt minions in the same turn, even though it doesn't say same turn. You have to play it in the same turn unless they fix it, which I doubt they did. And that was almost impossible to do. It was so hard. I had to play the mana to the front or whatever to discount my minions, and I still whiffed. That's how bad, like, it does power creep on I know a guy, whatever, but at the same time, you're probably at best getting 2 minions out of it, crappy taunt minions, it does nothing for you, and Warrior sucks to begin with. They gave them the worst card when they're the worst class. It blows my mind, although I still think Suspicious Peddler is probably worse, but statistically, Training Session takes the hit. But I will say, the last few mini sets, we've had cards that are like 20% deck win rate. No card this mini set that's absolutely horrendously bad, just pretty bad. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.